Hello, welcome back to Dark Souls Remastered. We're in a bit of a predicament. The next boss that we have to kill is a little bit too strong for me at the moment. I slept on it and have come to the conclusion that I failed with my basic mantra, which is use the tools provided. So, the reason for that is because we rushed through a couple of areas when really I should have taken the time and picked up some gear that could have been helpful to us. So, there are three places we can go. One is we can go into this forest, which is underneath the bridge. This door isn't open yet, we can't go in there. The other place we can go is the depths where we saw those demon frog things. I don't care for those, but they should drop pretty quickly. And there's some cool stuff in that area that we could use, including a funky ring. And then as well as that, we've got the tree, which the top of at least could be quite useful to us in a lot of respects, in that there's a ring there that'll be helpful to us. What we're going to do though is we're going to start with the forest. Now the forest is all the way through here. Let's just have a quick chat with Andre and see if he can upgrade our weapon a little bit. We'll give him the large ember that we picked up in the depths, and we'll reinforce our weapon wherever it's gone. Halberd, what do we need? Titanite shards, 3 thereof. Okay. Let's purchase 3 Titanite shards. That's most of our souls gone on Titanite. But we'll be able to put the halberd up to +5. And now the Titanite, now the halberd is +5, which means it's disappeared from this menu. And what we'll have to do is modify it, and we can take it up a level. We can turn it into a halberd +6 from here. We could turn it into a raw halberd, which changes the scaling of it. And as we pick up different embers for Andre and his other blacksmith mates, we'll be able to ascend our +5 halberd into a bunch of different upgrade paths, including fire and lightning and divine, which will do holy damage, which is not that helpful, weirdly enough, in this game. But it is helpful for us at one point, but we're probably not going to worry about that. I think what we're going to do is have a quick look at the difference between raw and +6. So +6 takes our physical damage up from 165 to 176, and the parameter bonus stays the same, D and C. If we change it to raw, it gets a little bit more damage in itself, but the parameter bonus is level out, which means we'll get more damage from it now, but as we level up, our bonuses will become less impressive for it. I think we're going to level up this halberd through the normal path, just so that we've got a +6, and we'll probably get it all the way up to +15 once we get there.
Get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
And one of the things Andre sells is a key to a door through this forest. We don't have enough souls for it yet. We're gonna get this thing. I hate this thing. Probably because of that. We're gonna ignore it for now. If we were a magic user, it'd be very straightforward to take care of it. Am I a little heavy? Yes, that's the answer. Okay, so we're in the garden. There's 2 paths in the garden. 3 technically, because one of them will turn into 2. We're going to take the slightly less obvious path at first, and we're going to double back up here, because what we want is down at the bottom of this. Whoops. Oh, nearly fucked it up then. Yeah, what we want is down at the bottom of here. There's some light armor. Ooh, there's a Titanite lizard there, if we can catch him. He hasn't seen us yet. Way, we got it. Twinkling Titanite, very nice. Those things will disappear if you hang around them too long, and by too long we're talking 2 or 3 seconds. You've got to kill them quick. If we wanted, we could drop onto that ledge. There's a bow and arrow and I think some light leather armor. We're not interested in that for the time being. What we're interested in is at the bottom of here, which is a shield that will improve our stamina regeneration. What that'll mean is we will struggle a little bit less in fights, and on top of that we'll be able to run faster or run further, etc, etc. It might be a little heavier than what we've got. This is a Black Knight. This is the first one we've seen. Oh no, it's not, because we fought that one that I really hated in the Undead Berg. Yeah, I hated that guy. Wow, this guy gives me the gibblies. Give me a boss any day over this guy. Woof. He's a bit of a tough cookie to crack. Tough cookie to crack. Oh no, he didn't drop his weapon, it's a shame. Sometimes, on very rare occasions, he drops that Black Knight halberd, which is reportedly one of the best weapons in the game. I've never had it drop for me. But it's a big part of most of the speedrunners' arsenal. Now through here is a bonfire if we want it. And it might be a useful way for us to get back through to Blighttown actually. Not that we're going there first. Let's have a quick look at this shield. So the Grasscrest shield is the one that we've got. It weighs the same as this. This one, instead of being poison resistant, slightly increases our stamina recovery. It says slightly, but it's it's considerable, is what it is. So we'll take it. Notice our just underneath our stat bar changes a little bit, and now we've got that. And watch how much quicker this stuff regenerates if we burn some of it off by running. See, all the way up really fast. Now we've got a couple of options. We can go back up the hill, or we can go over here, and that is the side of Undead Berg. And the watchtower that the tourist demon fights us on, at the bottom of there is a guy with a cool ring. I don't know if we've got the key to it. Let's have a quick look at keys. Dungeon cell key, no. Resonance key, basement key, sewer chamber key, Blighttown key. We've not got the key for that, so we won't be going in there for the time being. Okay. Right, let's have a quick look. We're going to go back up this hill. We're going to go through the forest, fight one of the bosses in here. It's only a small boss. It's not particularly difficult, but it does hit pretty hard if we're not careful. And you know me, not always careful. But I think we're fairly well set up with it, with the fireball. We've also got another pyromancy to equip as well. We've got the power within that we picked up in Blighttown, which is one of the tools that was provided. And that will increase our damage by something like 25%, if not more. Which could have been useful in that Quelaag fight that we nearly made it through to the end of. That could have tipped the balance for us. So we'll make sure to attune that and remember it. But at the time being, we're going to have a quick look in here and get some rings, because there are rings in here. And there's also one of the things that that this area has is these trees. these trees drop the moss that you need to be able to get through Blighttown with. You know, the purple moss and the blooming purple moss. The one for poison and the one for toxic. So, it's my thought that perhaps we went there a little too early, and we should have done the prep work here first. Because Dark Souls, whilst it's not expressly written anywhere, it does kind of give you little breadcrumbs. But if you don't know they're there, or you forget they're there, or you think you've had a really easy time over the last 2 or 3 bosses, and you just think maybe you just got good at the game, then it'll come back and bite you in the ass. And you'll forget. But the breadcrumbs are here in that we could make it to this forest pretty early on. We could have got to this forest before we did the gargoyles even, and found those trees and got the moss, and made Blighttown a little easier. Now, you can see behind this wall is a bonfire. No apparent way to get to it. But just like in the bottom of the tree, there are some secret walls. In Dark Souls 1 you have to attack them, and in Dark Souls 2 you have to usually press A on them, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 walls. What we've got though is we've got a humanity, so let's reverse our element. In fact, because we've got a boss in this area, let's bump up. Reverse our element. And then kindle the bonfire. And then we'll have more Estus flasks here, and we'll have a decent base of operations within this forest area. And the other thing, attune the magic. So on here, you can see we've got 3 magic slots because we bumped up our attunement. That's all we're really going to need as a pyromancer. We could go all the way up to the top, which I think is the best part of 10 or 11 equipable things, but because we're not investing any real magic, just a handful of these, then we're not really going to need it. Have a little coke. Take this and drop it here. We could get another copy of Fireball from Laurentius actually. So now we can see on our D-pad, we can press up and it'll cycle between Power Within it and Fireball. We'll have a quick look at Power Within, wherever it's gone. Excessive power, so short strength and endurance boost but lose HP. Excessive power eats away at the life force of its caster, and like all dangerous spells, Power Within was kept secret for eons. It's pretty cool. What it does is it just boosts your HP, but it constantly drains your life like you're poisoned or whatever. Which is fine, don't mind. Right, that's a trap. With these tree dudes coming in here. Are they going to jump out before we pick anything up? Perhaps. I'm not going to pick that up because I don't fancy fighting those. We're really only here for the loot. Of which there's a bit. So there's some cool armour in here. There's a weird tree. The weird tree is what we're after in this case. There's loads of kind of interesting one-off enemies in this area. Like, there's no more of them. That's just that. And what he does is he creeps around. Sometimes ends up at the bottom, sometimes at the top. Manta ray frogs, very nice. This area is a little appendix to what we're actually looking for. Oh no, there's the other one. There is two. I thought there was only one. But this one's small enough for me to go around. Or at least there's enough room for me to go around it. In here we've got some stone knights. And they are pretty tough. And they have an annoying magic skill, which is they can cast slow on us, which means we'll not be able to roll, and we'll only be able to use the shield to defend ourselves, which is a little annoying. He's not doing it now, there he is doing it. So he's got like an aura around him, which will slow us down if we're not careful near him. See, now we can't roll or sprint even. Oh, doesn't last forever, but it does last long enough to give us a bit of a whack. Fortunately, there's enough trees to count for like cover around him, so provided that we can either keep our distance or keep our guard up, not the end of the world. I don't know if these guys drop anything cool. I don't think they do. But there are a few of them guarding useful things that we're going to want to get to, including the area mini-boss. The mini-boss guards a dead blacksmith, and the blacksmith has another ember with him that we can use to upgrade our weapons further, which we'll need if we want to upgrade this weapon any more than what it is. There's another one of these knights up in this tunnel. He's at the top here. Can't target him until he's up properly. He's only relatively short range, and having him on the slope above us is handy because his sword can't necessarily reach us. Choking on something. Alright, and here we go. Is our first ring, the wolf ring. What does the wolf ring do? Boost poise. So this is one that if we were struggling with the Capra demon, because his weapons hit pretty hard, I don't think we got hit very much by him, which was handy. But this boosts our poise stat, which at the moment is 0. But if we put it on, our poise is now 40, which means we can tank a hit without being staggered particularly. Really quite handy, especially with something that hits hard and fast that you might not be able to get out of the way of the first strike of. But now we'll stagger a lot less, or at least should stagger a lot less in theory. Make things a little bit more more straightforward for us for a lot of things. Let's see, the tree's creeping up here. Can we go past them still? No, we're going to have to kill the tree. Weird that the tree doesn't drop anything, it just drops a handful of souls and that's it. But as well as you can tell that we were kind of meant to be in this area a little earlier, because we're making very light work of the enemies. They're not dropping a particularly decent amount of souls. You remember we were able to kick our level up by quite a decent amount earlier when we were in Blighttown, because everything was dropping in quite a lot of souls. So we can see some stuff in the distance. There we got a set of armour, which is cool. It's heavy armour, it's not for us. we're not running a heavy armor build. And down here is a long spear, a partisan spear, that we also won't necessarily want with our build because we put quite a lot into the halberd. What we're looking for though is we're going to skirt around the area with these quiet knights. We're going to kill the snake. And then there is one knight on the way in here that we're going to have a little trouble with. Oh, he's gone for the spell immediately. It's perfect. Oh, he dropped something. Stone Great Shield. Sick. Okay, nothing else is coming. Underneath this shrub is a witch, which we can summon, or who we can summon, because we're human. Can't summon anyone if you're not human. And we'll summon her because she's got a long range spell which will be useful for the boss that's at the top of the tower. And it'll also draw a little fire away from us, which will be handy. Because this boss hits pretty hard. There it is. That's what we're doing. That's what we're after. Now we don't have to take it to the boss, obviously. We could just do the boss without it. We could also probably summon it and do the rest of the area with her. I'm not sure where her despawn is. But for the time being, we're going to keep our distance from this magic butterfly. See if we can hit it with the firework. She's not attacking anything that we're not aggro to, which is a little frustrating. But now she should be attacking it. She's not yet. Butterfly's not really a huge problem, it's just that when if it hits us pretty hard. We get another hit in before it uses. There we go. Yeah, you see? Why are you shooting at me? Okay, for that. She's gone. 10,000 souls, easy peasy. That one can be a little bit difficult, it can be a little frustrating sometimes. But, again, easy peasy. And now we've got to the top of this second tower that the butterfly was on. What was it guarding? It's pretty decrepit. It was guarding a blacksmith. A dead one. Watchtower basement key. That's the key that I wanted to get to the guy with the cool ring and the cool shield. And a divine ember, very handy. And a homeward bone, even more handy. Because what we can do now is we can bone out to our bonfire, which we might be able to see from here. Not sure. Anyway, not interested in hanging around here. We've got everything we kind of need from this area. So we'll drop out. And then we kind of want to go back to the depths and fight the enemies that I really hate. Because they're also guarding another cool couple of items, although I don't think we actually need to go there. Anything cool? No. Yeah, if we can one-shot these guys with the halberd, we're definitely a little over-leveled for the area. And should probably, if not by bothered with Blighttown straight away. We should have come here instead. But less to worry about. Let's go down here and take the road less travelled. There's a big lake down there. We've got the watchtower basement key, so we could fight Havel. I don't think we need to. Havel is an enemy locked in the bottom of the watchtower. He is very tough. He's got some very strong armour on him. And he also has an incredible ring that adds something like another 50 to our equipment load. Makes our equipment load quite trivial for a lot of things, which means we can wear heavier armour, which could be quite useful in some respects, because if we had better armour or heavier armour, we take less damage when we get hit. That being said though, maybe just not getting hit is the best way forwards. We'll come back for Havel if we want him. What we want to do though is we want to go through to that bonfire that we said we'll come back for it when we need it. I'm not going to rest at it because it's not in a helpful place for us at the moment, and if we end up respawning at it, this is not the safest way into Blighttown, but it is one of the more straightforward ways. But ideally we don't want to respawn there if we can help it. There's better ways that we can go back. So we're going to get to the Valley of the Drakes. There's a couple of cool things in the Valley of the Drakes, I think. But for now, we've got what we came for, which was the extra souls, and therefore a couple of levels. We got the 2 rings. We got the 1 ring even. The 1 ring. The poise ring, which should help us with getting knocked back a little bit if for when Quig-like hits us. And we've also got the shield, which should give us a little bit more stamina. We could also go onto that tower just above my head. There's another ring there, which is popular among speedrunners and rocket Dark Souls players, rather than filthy casuals like myself. And that's one which gives us a massive boost in damage if we're below 25% health. But I don't fancy being below 25% health because I'm not very good at not getting hit. So what we're going to do instead is fucking cheese it up here through the Valley of the Drakes. A big dragon there, which is great. And this one is the undead dragon, or at least, yeah, kind of like a mini boss, not really a boss, but he's guarding a couple of items. If we pick those ones up, it will wake up. We can get this one without waking it up. Should we wake it up? I don't think I need to wake it up. And then we've got a bridge. And the geography of this might be familiar. Because now we're back at Blighttown. And this bridge took us through that little cave there into the New Londo ruins. And this cave took us into Blighttown, which we're now a little bit more prepared for. So we're going to take the quick way down, see if we missed anything. There shouldn't be any blow dart snipers, which will be handy for us. There's a couple of these lads waiting for us to leave. They're kind of pointed the wrong way. change of plan, have to leg it. They're not particularly quick, so we can afford to just run past them. Interesting that they face this way. They're there to stop you getting out rather than to stop you getting in. Yeah, Blighttown. We can't climb those, so they're not going to do anything to us. We do need our little swatter on. Oh, one of them fell off. Pull them out. Frag spiders. More mosquitoes. Coming in this way, they're coming up to us through the floor, which means the helmet hits them really quite easily. No complaints there. There are some things that we missed on the way up last time as well, because I was a little frustrated with constantly dying. But there is a ledge or a bridge. A ledge or a bridge somewhere that we can get across to, like, this side or something. I forget. Let's have a quick look and see if we can find it. Is it here? It's here. Oh, this looks precipitous. I hate it. I don't even know if that's the right word yet. I didn't look it up from last time. Horrible is what I'd call it. Unpleasant. There's a guy here with some sick looking clothes and a catalyst. And in here, a sorcery. Which we're too stupid to learn. But the sorcery is remedy, and that gives us a kind of cure status effects thing that we can use if we can cast it. We're not that kind of caster, so it doesn't make a big difference to us. Let's have a quick explore. See if there's anything really good that we missed. I think we got most everything. Nothing around here. Just the other side of that, so we'll have seen this on the way down and not been able to get to it. Which is often the case with Dark Souls. The thing is, the idea is the promise of things that you can see and you can get to. Like, for example, we could get down there. There's a kill box there, which means that if we fell down it, we would just die. Which is, oh, fuck off, man. We are miles away from that. Alright, I'm going to get that back there on my own time, and I'm going to meet you back there. For now, that was the end of tooling up. Appreciate your eyeballs. Take care. See you later.